Okay, right. So now let me go back on for where I was. Wait a minute, sorry. Okay. So now let me glance over it a little bit once more, so that you might lost your train of thought or something like that. Okay. 1 Kings chapter 11 verse 1, which goes into, but King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, which are two Canaanites here. These are Japanese. These are Hamites, Africans. These Japanese. These are Chinese. And these are Aram. Because it shows you also right here. In the video before, I showed it. So now I'm going to show you again. Here, they're trying to confuse you with Rezin, king of Aram, which is correct. Rezin, but they don't say what is actually happening according to what it says right here. At that time, Rezin, king of Aram, recovered Elath for Aram, drove out the men of Judah, and sent Edomites into Elath, where they live to this day. So he recovered Elath back toward the Edomites that they lost from King Solomon. So we were at constantly warring with each other, and he knew that. So therefore he put them there so that they can guard this. Oh, sorry. Oh boy. They can guard this. The strategic place in Elath and Ezion Geber, the havens for shipments and stuff like that, for cargo, stuff that you bring with the ship and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, let me go on. Now it says right here. So this word here, where they was playing around, then they are referring you to 2 Kings chapter 16 verse 6 concerning that word. But let me read it here. Wait. So it says here, it says here in Hebrew 130, it says C726. Go there. 726. A clerical error for Hebrew 130, an Edomite as in the margin Syrian. It's very confusing. Anyway, 2 Kings chapter 16 verse 6. An incorrect reading for Adawam Yam. Now, Adawam is actually Edom. Edomites. Adawam Yam is Edomites. And Adawam Ya is, if I'm correct, Edomite. But anyway, so here it says Arawam Yam, which is this one. Aramites. And the other one is like the spelling that I did with the Wam Yum and Ara. Sorry. Arawam Yum. So Adawam Yum and Arawam Yum. One letter actually kind of messes it up. So when I look at it, it'd be like, yeah, it's understandable, but how come you don't finish that then in the other prints that you print out? They're not going to do that. Why would they? Excuse me. Woo. Yeah, choked that. Wow, that really launched him up. Damn, don't. Damn, that was not funny. Okay. So, if I look up this word, then therefore. Sorry, wait. Let me go further, actually. Now, Hebrew chapter, this one here. Okay. That's the only one, right? Only word that it comes forth again is here. Okay, so now I go to the word Hebrew 130, which they say That is the word that actually should be replaced sometimes and stuff like that, right? With the clerical error. Oh yeah, and if you want to know what clerical error is this. What is the word clerical? Clerical. Relating to clergy, which goes into the people of, so-called churches and stuff like that. Clerical error, the scribes and all that type of stuff. Concerned with or relating to work in the office. That's modern. This is the word that actually is supposed to be. So according to them, it's a clergy that made the error. This is a clergy. These are clergies, according to them, which I don't believe. But anyway, well, let's leave it at that. I don't believe anything that comes out of their snout. If it's an error, why don't you fix it? Because you tell me that it is an error. But if I didn't have this Hebrew Strongs and stuff, I wouldn't know. Reading that. Anyway, sorry. Hebrew 130. How many times does the word Hebrew 130 come forth in the Bible? So, it says here, Hebrew 130 comes 12 verses. It comes 12 times forth in the Bible, right? So, and where does it come forth? Deuteronomy 23:7, where it says, "Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite." This is not Edomite, even though he is our brother, but then again, he is not. Because it says right here, Obadiah chapter 1, verse 10, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." He is not our brother anymore. The Heavenly Father made sure for that. And also here, I just thought about a joke. But then again, it's the same thing with the so-called black woman. If you have sex with her, I'm fucking my sister. I wanted to make the other side of the joke. If you fuck a white chick, you're fucking your sister. I'm just playing. I'm actually not, but it was just funny to say. But anyway, so it says here, Psalms 50 and 20. "Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son." Esau does that. You have the wicked of our people doing this too. If you read the scriptures, you will see like, damn, they was actually slandering each other. As they come from the same mother, they did some devil shit toward each other. Hey, the scriptures is full of that. In the book of 1 Kings chapter 11, you will see. If I get the... No, it's actually... It's somewhere else. Sorry. But Lord willing, I'll read it. Israelites did this too. But nowadays, it is to be appointed to Esau. Because you had wicked rulers that used to side with adulterers instead of righteous men. Wicked rulers of Israel did this. But now to the spirit, we know it's talking about Esau as a whole. The scriptures are many folds. If you read a chapter sometimes, it's actually talking about Israelites. For example, the book of Isaiah chapter 9. "The eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom." Who is that talking about? To the spirit, you know now it's talking about Esau. But if you read that chapter as how it is written, it's actually like the word kithip. I can't even pronounce that word, man, I tell you. Like the word kithip. If you read it kithip, it's actually talking about Judah. The kingdom of Judah was wicked. And the Lord, his eyes was upon that sinful kingdom. And he destroyed us, man. And before that, he destroyed Israel. Because they was wicked too. And then Judah started to follow after Israel. But the Most High killed Judah faster than he killed Israel. Why? They was already worshiping Satan for a few, like 2 generations already. Yeah. Judah just came into it and he thought, oh man, I want to have their God power too. What? the Most High destroyed his ass right then and there. You know, he shouldn't have done that. Lord willing, I'll read that here somewhere. Okay. But basically, they slander their mother's son. Esau does that. He lies about us. Oh, they're violent. Have you seen your history, devil? You devils, there's nothing but violence. Freedom in America, you're free to do. You ain't free shit. In Europe, you're more free than America. That's why when you go on YouTube and you see all these Americans talking about the freedoms and the rights that I gained by moving to Europe, these Americans are crazily angry. This guy. Yeah, not you. I'm talking about, I want to see the Caucasian guy. Damn, wait. Right, this guy. How do Americans deal with this? 7 things about America. Where's that? Whatever. Crazy shit Americans say, Michael. Why? Because they hate him. They hate him because he's talking about all the great things that he got just from leaving America.
Entire world at this point, and I have no idea why this guy has so much hate.
He's not even hating. He's just telling them what it is. Like, you can't do this in America, and Americans don't know this, but they think they're free. They think they have workers' rights. The world is laughing at them. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? They could just fire you on the spot. You can't do that here.
America. Sacrifice intelligence to appease the masses of your environment. Thanks to the hate. That's what this is. Hate. We get it. You hate America and Americans. You might be surprised to see these sorts of comments online from America.
Anyway, if you listen to him, it's kind of funny what he actually says. This is actually true. What shocks me the most returning in the, but anyway.
Across the entire world at this point.
Anyway,
I have no idea.
if you want to watch it, you know, if I forget to put it in the description box, then sorry about that. But yeah, this is it. He has more. But yeah, why I left America or something like that. Why I left. I think it's this one. Oh, why I can't move back. This one is the first one that I saw of him. And then I watched the other one too, you know. But this one is good. This one is very good. And yeah, so, okay, going back to over here. Because they slander us. All the murderous things that they're doing and stuff like that. And they still believe that they're righteous. What? But anyway. So, going back to over here. So, sorry. So, he is our brother, but he's not. He's cut off. And then who is our other brother that we shouldn't abhor? It's actually talking about this one. Genesis 22. And then Genesis 24. And also Genesis 25. So it says, Genesis 22 and 20. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah. Where is Milcah mentioned? Genesis 11. Milcah is mentioned here. And who is Milcah? Milcah is the daughter of Haran. Who is Haran? 26. Genesis 11:26. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Haran, he fathered Lot also. Haran begat Lot. Haran died before his father in Terah. Before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. There is where we all come from. Abraham too. So these are Shemites, because this is Abraham is not nothing else. He's a Shemite. That whole region was full of Shemites. Anyway, so now going to here, Abraham, Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah. Haran is the father of Milcah and the father of Ishka. I know who this is, but I'm just going to leave it at that. This is talking about Sarah. Anyway, if you read the book that the elder the elder bishop of Great Millstone, yeah. Oh, forgot that. He showed you a book. I think it's what the Josephus or something like that. I haven't read it myself, but I did read this part. I did read. I'm not gonna read that book. I want to focus on the scriptures. I want to focus on the Bible. You know, I don't need to read. I don't really look. If you want certain understanding, you can just read those other books. But I don't want to. I want to read the Bible. I want to get everything out of there, and then explain it out of there. And if I really, really, really need to, I will have to use another book, but I don't want to. Anyway, but yeah, if you know the scriptures, then you will see like we did make children with family members. It's all throughout the scriptures, yeah. But anyway, so Milcah is the daughter of Haran, and Nahor is then therefore her uncle. Okay, that's Nahor's wife. Milcah, the daughter of Haran. The father of Milcah. Haran is the father of Milcah and the father of Iscah. Okay, cool. Okay, that's Milcah. So let me read it again. Genesis 22. I just read Genesis 20. Oh, Genesis 11. I just read it. Now I'm going to go to Genesis 22 and 20. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she had also borne children unto thy brother Nahor, Huz his firstborn, and Boaz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram, but is not the bloodline of that other Aram from the Shem, but the other side. No, this is just he's just named that way. You have Israelites that are named Canaan. You have Israelites that are named Balaam. How you call him? Or Bela is Balaam. A Benjamite was called Bela, and Bela is Balaam. Balai, yeah, something like that. Okay, and Hesed, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Jitlab, and Bethuel. Bethuel is the son of Nahor. Nahor is the brother of Abraham. Okay, and Bethuel begat Rebekah. This is the wife. Sorry, this is the wife of Isaac. We did keep it in the family for a very long time. And then later when the 12 were born, we actually took women of the heathen nations and made Israelite babies and children. And then we stayed with each other, having only children with our brothers, their descendants. So that's why I made that joke that every time you are with a so-called black woman or a Latino woman or a Native American woman, and their bloodline goes back to the forefather of us, you're sleeping with your sister. I'm just making fun, bro. I know. I just make fun. I have no problem with it, but I just say it like that to make you think like, what the fuck? That's why you call each other brothers and sisters. It is your brother. It is your sister. Even if you're from different tribes, they all go back to the waters of Judah, which is Jacob. And Bethuel begat Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother. Okay, so now if I go to Genesis 25 and 15, and it came to pass before he had done speaking, that behold, Rebekah came out, who was born to Bethuel. I just read that in Genesis 22. The son of Milcah, which Milcah is the wife of Nahor, and Nahor is Abraham's brother. Okay, sorry. Genesis 25 now, verse 20. And Isaac was by the way, Isaac is the son of Abraham, and Rebekah is the daughter of Abraham's brother, his son. I hope I didn't lose you there, but I just read it. But anyway, I lose myself sometimes. Sorry. So I think maybe you just like me. But yeah. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram. Is he from the bloodline of actual Aram from Genesis chapter 10? No. He's from that region called Aram, which I just showed you here. These lands The single name of these lands, multiple, is Aram. So there's a place that have different lands, but all collectively is called one name, which is this. This is called the land of Aram. And Aram has a meaning. For example, the name Seir. The name Seir is a man. The name Hor is a man. But who lived in Mount Seir? The Horites. But who lived in Mount Seir afterward? The Edomites. So then later on, through time, it was called the land of Edom. Even when the Horites were there was kind of translating. It's like this. You know the gratification? I think I said that word. I don't know. Gratification or something like that in Brooklyn or Harlem. How do they call it? They call it gratification or something. Gentrification. What the fuck? Okay, cool. Gentrification. So what's happening, right? Oh, I was thinking of Dutch because this is how you spell it in Dutch. Harlem. Harlem, sorry. Harlem gentrification. Before and after. Okay, what's happening? Right in front of their faces, they actually changed it from this. No, sorry. What? No. They changed it from this to this, if I'm correct, right? I don't think this is a good example. They changed this from this to this. I need better examples. Wait. This is better. So it went from this to this. They start pouring money up in there. But my point of showing you this is, while you're there, they're changing stuff. Slowly but surely, they're taking over. Slowly but surely. Used to be this. Now it's this. It's fucking amazing. And they start putting Starbucks coffee all over the place and stuff like that, you know. That's what they do. They do that. They do that. And that's exactly what they did here. You know, slowly but surely. But anyway, let me go back to or the thing that I was talking about. Anyway, so it says right here, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram, which is this place right here. Well, in Haran, you have a place called Padan Aram. Genesis 11 shows you this. Well, not Padan Aram, but it shows you that this is the place Haran, but there is a place within. It's just like how you have New York, and then within New York you have Brooklyn, Flatbush Avenue, and stuff like that, you know. Stuff like that. The only reason I know that is because I had family there, so that's why. But how does he know all these American names? I've not been there. That's the only reason. Anyway, so it says right here. Where was that? Okay. Bethuel the Syrian, but it says here Bethuel the Aramite from Padan Aram, because it's talking about the land. It's not talking about the bloodline, because clearly he is of the bloodline of Eber. It shows you right here. Shem Arphaxad, so 1 Chronicles chapter 1 verse 24. Shem Arphaxad Shalah Eber, Pelak, Hiriu, Seruch, Nahor, Terah, Abram. Well, you might not see him here, but the other one was Genesis 11. Here you see the bloodline a little bit more in more details, you could say, better details, I should say. But then you have here, Terah is the same bloodline of Eber. So Abraham, Nahor, and Haran are all this bloodline, and so are they. So are all they. Peleg, Reu, Seruch, Nahor, and Terah also, Abraham also, Nahor also, Haran also, and therefore, everyone that comes out of Nahor is also a Hebrew. They're just not called that, you know, specifically, but they are. I mean, Esau is a Hebrew Edomite, but he's not really called a Hebrew Edomite, not by us. He's just called Esau or Edomites. But with us, we do say Hebrew Israelites or just Israelites and stuff like that. But we remind ourselves that we are Heber, which is this one. But Ishmael is also a Hebrew Ishmaelite. What is the last time you heard somebody that is referring to the Ishmaelites that he says, oh yeah, the Hebrew Ishmaelites are also going into slavery? A lot of people don't say that. Well, that's the same thing with all the children of Nahor. Oh, sorry. This Nahor. This is his grandfather. This Nahor. He has the same name of Terah's father, which is his grandfather. Okay. So, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. So, let me read it again. Genesis chapter 25, verse 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife. This is his niece, by the way. Their family. The daughter, so Rebekah is the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram. Rebekah, is then the sister to Laban, the Syrian. So, when it says here in the book of Deuteronomy 23:7, thou shalt not abhor a Syrian. Why? For he is thy brother. Why? How? Well, if you go here to Genesis, you will see that we made children with them. And you know what's even funnier? Jacob called him uncle. He was actually his great uncle, but that doesn't matter. It's still his uncle. And what did he do? Laban is the father of... What am I doing? Genesis 29:16. And Laban the Syrian, he's not a Syrian by bloodline, he's a Syrian by land mass. Because he comes from Ur of the Chaldees, his fathers come from Ur of the Chaldees. So did Abraham. But it's the bloodline of Arphaxad. Don't forget that. The Shemites were there. And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. So, Rachel, what language did she speak? Benjamin. So Genesis 35:18, and it came to pass as her soul was departing, for she was dying. It's talking about Rachel. That Rachel called her son's name Ben-Noni, but his father Jacob called him Benjamin. Okay? Genesis 31:47. And Laban called it Jagar Sahadutha. But Jacob called it Galid. Why? Because he spoke Isaiah chapter 19 verse 17. And in the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention of Judah thereof shall be afraid in himself. Oh, don't speak about those, we're going to get cursed. Because Judah is going to have that power once the Heavenly Father gives them that power. They're going to be so afraid. It's just like if you are a celebrity and you talk about these so-called Israeli people, oh boy, they're scared. They don't want to talk about them because they know they're going to be in trouble. They're going to be in trouble, man, and they don't want to be in trouble. So they don't talk about them. And when they do, they hush. Don't say that word. Don't say that word. Don't say that word. They got cameras around. Man. They gonna hear us. Man, we're gonna lose all our sponsors, man. They scared. Boy, they gonna even be more afraid of Judah than that. Why? Why are they gonna be afraid in themselves? Because of the counsel of Yahweh, the power of hosts. He is army. Which he had determined against it. He had determined against Egypt that he will destroy them. And modern day Egypt is America. So in that day, so in this day, when Judah shall be feared, as how they are supposed to, in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Mizraim, in the land of Egypt, modern day Egypt, what shall those 5 cities speak? Speak the language of Canaan. That is the language that we spoke in that time. Now you might say, wait a minute, what are you talking about? We didn't speak Canaan. No, Esau is a devil. He explains it like a devil. Lord willing, I'm going to explain it. Lord willing, I'm going to explain it better. Lord willing, of course. For example, Moabite stone. If you look at the Moabite stone, what does it say? It says Yahweh. It doesn't say Yahweh. That's bullshit. It says Yahweh. It says here, Habath? Dawat. Habat Dawat. Habath. Is this one? Habat Dawat. The house of David. That's what it says right here. But the point is that my point is they wrote Hebrew. Well, they wrote the same language as we spoke, so they spoke it too. It's just like America from England. English from America, English from the land UK, United Kingdom, English from Ireland, English from Wales, English from England, English from Scotland. It's all different English. Some of them you can't even understand. But what the fuck did he just say? We have a 2 here in the Netherlands. If the more down south you go, the more it'd be like, what did he? Wait, bruh, what this guy say? And Germany has it too. In different regions of Germany, what did he just? I don't know. You have Switzerland. You have Swiss. Wait, Switzerland and Sweden. No. Sweden is another one actually. It's a different one. I wouldn't use that actually. But anyway, you have Switzerland and Germany. They're kind of the same, but they're not. It's not really. It's not really. Even though Swiss Standard German is almost identical to Standard German, it's not. The word almost is there. It's not. So, if I'm correct, one of the two can understand better. I think the German can understand them better. I'm not sure. Or they can understand Germans, but I don't know. But it's not the same. Right. Well, that's the same thing with us too. If you listen to the English of Guyana or the English of Jamaica, the more down south you go, the less you can understand the Jamaican language. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about, man? It's a whole different language. I don't even want to break my head listening to these people. I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time trying to listen to you. Same thing in the country where I'm from. The more south you go, the more I'll be like, what did they say? And that's my language. I still don't understand what the fuck. I can understand, but not all of them. And especially if you go way down south, I'll be like, okay, I don't know what he's just said. And yeah, we in the same country, but the Dutch have it too. The more, I think, north. No, the more south you go, whatever. Anyway, we had the same thing too in the land of Canaan. You had on our right, they was writing, the Moabite people, yeah? They was writing the same language as us. So can you really call it the language of Canaan? Yeah and no. That's the understanding that Esau's not going to explain it to you, but he's going to call it the Phoenician language. And here, check this out. This is the devil. This is what the devil does. See? He puts... Oh, the Google corrected it. Phoenician is an extinct Canaanite. See? Canaanite Semitic language, whatever the fuck. This is from Shem, and this is from Ham. You see what they do? They mix two seeds in one, but only to the power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua you're going to understand what it actually says right there. Judah, Benjamin, the 12 tribes, we spoke this too. The Canaanites did it too at that time. And that's the language that they was writing to. As we were. Sorry. So if you type in Phoenician language, you don't know who the Phoenicians are. Especially if you don't know the scriptures. Phoenician people. What will you see? You will see Arabians. You will see leper flesh. These people is the Edomites that actually doing this. See? They want to be the Phoenicians. That's why I'm telling you. Once we get that power, we're going to show these people what's really going down. Because them Arabians, they want to call themselves Phoenicians. And they want to call themselves Lebanese and stuff like that. Meanwhile, those are Hamites, man. Just like how Esau is stealing our heritage, the Arabs are stealing the heritage of the Hamites. They calling themselves Egyptians. But what are you going to pay for that? Once that time comes. These are the true Hamites. These are the true Phoenicians. Which are Canaanites. Sorry. These are the true Canaanites. Yeah, these are Ishmaelites or Syrian type people. Aram. But Aram was all dark, by the way. Anyway. These are the Canaanites. Nothing is broken but the nose. Haven't you noticed like all the statues are broken with the nose? All the statues, their noses are broken. You never mentioned that? You never noticed that? You should pay attention. These are not Israelites. They're just also dark-skinned people, but they're Canaanites. Okay, so the language of Canaan is what we spoke, but it is our language. It's the Hebrew language. It's the language that we spoke in the land. But what did Abraham speak? He spoke the language of Aram. And how do I know that? Laban spoke the language of Aram. Rachel spoke the language of Aram. Leah spoke the language of Aram. And we also, Isaiah chapter 36 verse 11, then said Eliakim and Shebna and Joah unto Rabkashah, speak, I pray thee, unto thy servants in the Aram language, for we understood it. Now if you read the rest of the chapter, you will see that these are Judites. And speak not unto us in the the Jews language. It's not just Jews, it's Israelites. It's not just one tribe. It's all of us. But we did have accents. I'm going to show you. We did have accents amongst each other too. I'm going to show you. Judges chapter 12, verse 6. Then said they unto him. I did a video of the chapter, so you can watch that if you want to. I'll just go to the point. Judges chapter 12, verse 6. Then said they unto him, say now Shibboleth. And he said Sibboleth, for he could not frame to pronounce it right. Then they took him, and slew him at the passage of Jordan. They killed him. And there fell at that time of the Ephraimites 40 and 2,000. But who did that? If you go one chapter before, it will show you that a man from Gilead did that. So Gilead is a man, but the place was called the land of Gilead. So who is Gilead? Gilead is one of the sons of... I'll get it for you. I know who it is, but... Sorry, I'm spelling it wrong. Gilead is one of the sons of... Here, Mount Gilead is a mountain. This one. Numbers 26-29. And the sons of Manasseh of Machir, the family of the Machrites, and Machir begat Gilead, and of Gilead come the family of the Gileadites. So who's Gilead? He's the son of Manasseh, but the region is called the land of Gilead also because he took it over. Machir took it over, by the way, and Gilead too. But you can read about that. Well, Yeah, whatever. But yeah, they both were men of war, by the way. But it's like father like son, and then he took it over and stuff like that. But anyway, so he was from Manasseh. Japhet was from Manasseh, and this man, the Gileadites, are Manasseh, and the Ephraimites. These two were at war with each other in the time of the book of Judges. Here, wait. Here, Judges 17:6. In those days there was no king in Israel, but every man did that which was right in his own eyes. So it was kind of lawless and stuff like that in the time of Judges. That's why the Most High was raising up judges, to come and judge us and stuff like that in those days, again. And this stayed on for like 300 years or something like that. Anyway, I'm going too much in something else. But the point is that we spoke Aram language, and we spoke also this language, which is the language of the land of Canaan. I should better say the language that we spoke in the land of Canaan while we were there, because when we came up in it as Abraham, sorry, not with Abraham, I mean as when he came, he spoke the language of Aram, and then we were born there, and thus we spake the language of the land of Canaan. That's the correct explanation of it. But if you go through Esau, you will think that is a Canaanite language. And I used to trip upon that until the Heavenly Father gave me the correct mannerism to explain it. So Lord willing, I do a better job at explaining it, I hope so. So, okay, so these are the Syrian people that the Heavenly Father told us. Deuteronomy 23:7, thou shalt not abhor a Syrian, for he is thy brother. We made children with them. Rachel is a Syrian. Leah is a Syrian. Laban, Rebecca, but they're not Syrians as the bloodline. They're Syrian as the landmass. Same thing with the land of Canaan. We speak the language of Canaan. We're not Canaanites. We speak it because that is where we were living. But we also knew how to speak the language of Aram because we made children with them. We made our nation with them. But they are also not of Aram. They're from Eber that lived in Aram, because we have all the same forefather, which is Terah. And it shows you right here. Joshua 24:2. And Joshua said unto all the people, thus saith Yahweh, the power of Israel, your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time, even Terah. And this is not the flood of Noah. Even Terah, the father of Abraham and the father of Nahor. They spelled it different here. It says here Nahor instead of Nahor, but they put Nahor. But anyway, in the English they would say Nakor, something like that. But anyway, and they served other gods. And the Heavenly Father, he's talking here, and I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood, which is Mesopotamia. And what does Mesopotamia mean? Mesopotamia means, it actually means land between the river. Yeah, it is the Fertile Crescent. That's not what Mesopotamia mean, but it is located in the land of the Fertile Crescent, which is very fertile there. If you just throw a seed, back in the days, it would just grow. You didn't have to really do a lot. It would just grow into a tree. Here, Mesopotamia means the land between the rivers. The two rivers are the Tigris and the Euphrates, but there's actually four. But that is actually what the word Mesopotamia means. That's the true definition of it. You can say between rivers, yeah. But the real long-worded definition of it is the land between rivers. And what land is that? The land of Shinar. That's it. Okay, that's in Genesis 12, the land of Shinar. Okay. Joshua 24:3, and I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood and led him throughout all the land of Canaan and multiplied his seed and gave him Isaac. Yeah, when it says he multiplied his seed, that's through Jacob, because Abraham had 6 children. Sorry, he had 8. 6 with Keturah and 1 with Hagar and 1 with Rachel. Sorry, Abraham and Sarah. Abraham and Sarah. He had 1 with Sarah, and that was Isaac. And then from there on, Isaac also had 2, Esau, and then Jacob. And then from Jacob came the millions, basically. So, but it is his seed, yeah, that multiplied, but it didn't multiply here. It multiplied through this one, his son, which is Jacob. Here it became thousands, and it was actually 37. Here. Exodus chapter 1, verse 5. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob was 70 souls. 35? Where the fuck did I get that from? I just said 36 or 35. What did I just say? Sorry about that. So, and all the souls that came out of the loins of... Hey, wait a minute. It's actually... It was 60. But yeah, that's another thing. 3 score. Genesis. Here it says 70. Oh yeah, here it says 60 and 6. It was 66, yeah, because they didn't count the other ones, because it says right here. I was thinking of 3-6 because 1 score, so that's why I made the mistake. Sorry about that. Now I'm trying to look why I said 36. 1 score means, so 1 score in numbers means 20. So 3 score means 60. But you know, I get the word 3 and I think of 60. I'm fucked up, I'm telling you. But that's why I got 36. I was like, what the fuck am I thinking 36 for? Here, 3 score and 6. See? So I thought of the 3 and then I thought of the 6. So I said 36. But it's 70. But it was actually 66. And then the other ones was already in Egypt. If you read it, you can see it for yourself. And then later on, it went from 70. And then in Exodus, it is 70 souls. So we began as 70. And from there on, we became hundreds of thousands. Very fast. Anyway, so thou shalt not abhor a Syrian. That is what it means. And the word abhor doesn't mean hate. This is the definition of the word abhor. Yeah, they changed that. That's bullshit. The true definition and the original definition of the word abhor is ab means away from, and horror, like horror movie. What do you do when you see a horror movie? You do this. You do this. Ugh. This guy's funny. That is a horror, like the horror. Shudder. You know, the shudder, like this guy. So you shudder away from it. So yeah, that's. I think he's gonna do it too. Yeah, that's good too. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. She. I think she does it too. Yeah, this is to shudder away. So yeah, that's what we were not supposed to be doing toward him. That has nothing to do with hatred or disgust. You're just filthified by it, like, you know. Anyway, Thou shalt not abhor an Edom, a Syrian, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor a Mizraim. This is a Hamite. Why? Because thou wast a stranger in his land. So we shouldn't abhor Hamites. Well, Mizraim, I should say, actually. You shouldn't hate them like... Well, now, see, even I use that word. You should not abhor them. But nowadays, I know that they hate them because what is the first thing? What is the first thing that they would then therefore say? Oh, they're ugly, this, that. They don't like them, but this one looks like an Israelite. I've seen people like this. You know, then you have them tall other ones, which are, these are Mizraim. These are Mizraim people, boy. They big as shit. It's a big bitch, man. I'm telling you. You know? And they look good too. They got them long ass legs and shit like. But a lot of Jacob descendants, they be like, oh no, she black, she black. I'm looking at you like, man, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you, man. You been around white people too much. You know, but I'm not saying not all white people are good looking, but what the fuck? I'm not even tripping on that shit. And not all so-called, I don't even want to say it, but not all so-called African women are what they say is ugly. That's not the case. You just have a different taste, you monkey ass nigga. Why don't you go try and suck the living, you know, clitoris off of what's their favorite bitch? Halle Berry, that motherfucker. Yeah, why don't you go sleep with that shit? Keep that shit to yourself, nigga. Anyways, fucking weirdos. She big as hell. I know she big, cause they big, but that's another story. I mean, I'm just gonna leave that. Anyway, so okay, so when is this used? This is used in 8 verses. Okay, but here is a tricky one. This one I already showed, but these two are very tricky. Make you question, like, is that correct then? Yes, it is. But because I'll show you, because of this, you can understand these two scriptures in these two different chapters, which I will read here somewhere. Well, okay, let me focus because I have been talking a lot, and Lord willing, of all the things that I said, I hope you learned something, you know. I hope I wasn't just babbling. Yeah, that's what I hope. I hope that at least I said something beneficial to the spirit of, you know, supping with the scriptures. Okay. So this time it is used, they're lying. Here in 1 Samuel, it's used for Doeg. Here again it is, Here again it is used for Doeg. Here again it is used for Doeg. Here again it was used for Doeg. And here it was used for one of the wives of King Solomon, which is where I'm at right now. Again, it will be used here. But then it speaks about Hadad. And if you look up Hadad, you will see son of Ishmael, king of Edom, another king of Edom. But if you just look up the word Hadad, until this day, what does the word Hadad come to you by? Like the name Hadad. What do you get in your head? You get these people in your head. I don't know if you know. You get these people in your head. But they say Hadad. What the fuck? But yeah, you get these type of people in your head. The Aram people. And even in Marvel Comics, you had a character named Hadad. What does he look like? He looks like Aram. He looks like a Syrian. But anyway, loose from that, because I have more scriptures and stuff like that to better understand what actually happened and what they're doing. Okay, so these scriptures here, the elder apostle at Great Millstone, he himself broke down this here, all this here, this too. And he showed me, well, not me personally, he showed the people that 130 is actually switched. Okay, now comes the hard part. These three. It's actually these two. But because of this one, I can understand, we can understand these two. Okay, here again it says Doeg the Edomite. Okay, so now it leaves only 3 scriptures where it says Edomites, but the Doeg is not in it. So now I'd be like, hey, what is it? Okay. So this one, these 2 chapters I will read to make you understand, because it's very beautiful. And then I will read now 2 Kings 16 and 6. Yeah, I already read that, but okay. 2 Kings 16 and 6. At that time, Rezin, the king of Syria, recovered Elath to Syria and drave the Jews from Elath. And the Syrians came to Elath and dwelled there unto this day. So what is this alluding? It alludes that the king of Aram, the king of Aram, because that is the word that is written there. Remember that they themselves even said it. They said it here. They said Kithib. And what does Kithib mean? Kithib means an Aramaic term meaning what is written. So if you write something down, that is what it is, right? And quere is if you write something down, but you pronounce it somewhere. I think the word pronounce is somewhere here. I just read it actually here. So the quere indicates a different pronunciation or word that should be used. Here's the funny part. It says here, it should be used when reading the text aloud, as preserved by scribal tradition. So now what it looks like they're telling you is actually that should be written. So this is written, and then therefore they say that was then the mistake. And then this one is actually what should be read. They're lying to you. Well, this might not be a lie, but with this one, they're tricking around because they're the devil, and that's what they do. So the word that is written there is Kithib. Is Aram. That is the Kithib thing. But they refer you to 2 Kings chapter 16, verse 6. And then I go there. Yeah. It speaks about Rezin, the king of Syria, that gave the land back to the Syrians, it says right here. But that's not what it is. Because it says right here, if you just scroll down, I'm going to read all the other things here. It says here, study Bible. Okay, so now I'm going to read this. At that time, Rezin, king of Aram, recovered Elath for Aram, drove out the men of Judah, and sent the This is the truth. That is what it says in the Greek. If you translate it literally from the Greek, that is exactly what it says, because it says right here. At that time, Rezin, king of Aram, recovered Elath for Aram, drove out the men of Judah, and sent the Edomites into Elath, where they live to this day. I'll get to that later. Okay, let me get back to over here. Sorry. So what happened? And send the Edomites to Elath. The Edomites, descendants of Esau, were traditional enemies of Israel and Judah. This is talking about the northern kingdom, and this is talking about the southern kingdom, which I will eventually, Lord willing, read on here. Okay. By sending the Edomites into Elath, Rezin not only secured the city of Fort Aram, because he put them as forefront soldiers. And if you think that is far-fetched, then here. 2 Kings 17, verse 23. Until the Heavenly you need to read the rest for yourself, because the Heavenly Father was angry at us and stuff like that, because we made our sons and our daughters pass through the fire, child sacrifice. So we did evil in the sight of the Lord, and He sold us. Until Yahweh removed Israel out of His sight, verse 23, 2 Kings 17:23. And He had said by all, as He had said by all His servants the prophets, so was Israel carried out of their own land to Assyria, which is Ashur, unto this day. And where did that happen? Here also, but it was actually here only Reubenites, Gadites, and half of the tribe of Manasseh that were on the right side. This side. Sorry. These ones. So, East Manasseh, Gad, and Reuben went into slavery under who? 1 Chronicles 5:25. And they transgressed against Yahweh, the power of their fathers, and went to whoring after the gods of the people of the land, whom the Heavenly Father destroyed before them. And the power of Israel stirred up the spirit of Pul, king of Assyria, and the spirit of Tilgath-Pilneser, king of Assyria. And he carried them away, even the Reubenites and the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh, and brought them unto Halah, and Habor, and Harah, and to the river Gozan, unto this day. So who enslaved them? The Lord. But who did he use? He used the Assyrians. But in the, I just figured out, like, if I talk about that, I'm going to talk about a whole other topic. If you read the book of Isaiah chapter 10, you will see what happened to them for enslaving us. Sorry. Well, not this one, actually. It was actually the other one that I was reading here. I can click this away, actually, this one. Right. 2 Kings 17:23. Until Yahweh removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all the prophets, his servants, his prophets, so is Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. Now this is talking about all the 10 tribes. But before that, the other 3 in another period in time, they was actually enslaved first. Because they did devil worshipper and stuff. They was killing their kids. Just like the Canaanites, that they left among them, among us, I should say. Judah didn't do it at that time, but later on they did. But I'll get to that later here, Lord willing. 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cutha. This is my point, eh? And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon. So first he enslaved them. He brought men from Babylon and from Cutha and from Ava and from Hamath and from Seph Harvaim. And if you don't know who that is, here Ava and Hamath. Here, the Avites. Here, this is Avite. Ava is basically is Hamites and Philistines, sorry. Philistines, so it was Canaanites, the one son of Ham, and it was the Philistines, which are Mizraim, the other sons of Ham. So these are a bunch of Hamites, from different tribes, from different bloodlines, sorry. So you had Cush, Canaan, and stuff like that. And placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. So what did he do? He replaced them. That's why Yahushua said, Matthew 10:5. So all these are the 12. And what did Yahushua tell the 12? Verse 5. Matthew 10:5. These 12 apostles, Yahushua sent them forth, right? And commanded them. I know I said send them forth, but I'll just read what it says. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles. Don't go there. And into any of the and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. I don't want you to go there. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The reason why he said this is because he went there later on, but he can see your soul if you are an Israelite or not. So that's a different case. Just like this. If you read the book of 1 Ezra chapter 5. Yeah. 1 Ezra chapter 5 verse 40. If you read the whole chapter, you will understand. I'm going to go to the point. For unto them said Nehemiah and Azarias that they should not be partakers of the holy things, till there rose up a high priest clothed with truth and doctrine. And you can also read this one here. Ezra chapter 2, verse 59. And these were they which went up from Tel Melah, Tel Harzah, Cherub, Adan, and Immer. But they could not show their father's house and their seed, whether they were of Israel. See? They didn't know which tribe they were from. These were Hamites. These were Hamites. These were Hamites. All were slaves of the Israelites. And later on, they couldn't, the Nethinims and stuff like that. The Nethinims are heathens. And the children of the Solomon's servants, some of them were like they wanted to make themselves slaves or something like that. But he had heathen slaves too. But you did have Israelites that you could work for them for 49 years. Or you could work for them for 6 years. If you wanted to stay a slave, then you can bore your ear and you can stay with him only for 49 years. And in the 50th year, you need to go back to where you come from. You need to go back to your forefathers' place. That's in the book of Leviticus chapter 25. So yeah, you had Israelites there. But the Nethinims were not Israelites. So they couldn't show their father's house and their seed whether they were of Israel. And all the children of the priests and all that there. Even if you were a Manassite, you cannot do the priesthood because Numbers 1 and 51. And when the tabernacle setteth forth, the Levites shall take it down. And when the tabernacle is to be pitched, the Levites shall set it up. Here it comes. And the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. So if you come near the tabernacle, you're going to die. Numbers chapter 18, verse 22. Neither must the children of Israel henceforth come nigh the tabernacle of the congregation, lest they bear sin and die. So this is why they said, you cannot be partakers of the holy things, because we don't know what tribe you are from. We don't know. Verse 62. These sought their register. What is register? An official list of records and stuff like that, items. So these sought their register among that were reckoned by genealogy. So they wanted to go in the midst of the others that were recognized by genealogy, by bloodline, but they couldn't, because they were slaves for 70 years. And the rest of the Israelites, they stayed in the land. And you can read, I think, no? Okay, then it is here maybe? No? Here. You can read here, the poor of the people, the Israelites, which had nothing in the land of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, through his captain, Nebuzaradan, under Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, he was the ruler of Hamath, so he ruled over the Hamites there. Also, this king, Nebuchadnezzar, he ruled over Euphrates, he ruled over Babylon, he ruled over Mesopotamia, he ruled over the whole, he was called King of Kings. Here, where was that again? Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, here. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, a king of kings. He was the king of kings. And also, Artaxerxes was also called King of Kings, because he was. If you read First Ezra chapter 1, you will see that the other kings called him my lord. But anyway, so what's I doing again? Yeah. Oh yeah. the king of so the captain Nebuzaradan, he was under Nebuchadnezzar. And what did he do? But Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, left of the poor of the people which had nothing in the land of Judah, and gave them vineyards and fields at the same time. So what happened? They stayed in the land for 70 years, because it says right here, I have a real problem with that word, brethren. I can't spell it for shit. It's here. Jeremiah 29:16. Know that thus saith Yahweh, of the king that sitteth upon the throne of David, which was his bloodline, and of all the people that dwelled in this city, and of you, here it comes, and of your brethren that are not gone forth with you into captivity. So they stayed behind because the Heavenly Father punished the rich. Jeremiah 34 speaks about it. If you read Jeremiah 34, you will see why the rich were enslaved and the nobles and stuff like that. And then you will see why the poor of the Israelites, they were set free by the Syrian, by Nebuchadnezzar. The Heavenly Father loved Nebuchadnezzar, actually. He liked him very much. Until he offended, but the Lord, he chin checked him. He smacked him around, and then he came around to like, oh, sorry. You should read Daniel chapter 4 for that. He smacked him around. He liked him. He made him the head of gold. He liked him very much. He liked Cyrus also. The Heavenly Father liked Cyrus. But anyway, so yeah. My point is that the high priest, he can actually see which tribe you are from. Here, Ezra chapter 2, verse 62. These sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy, but they were not found. Therefore, because their registry and their genealogy was not found, therefore were they as polluted, put from the priesthood. You can't, because if you touch the holy vessel, you're going to die. And they don't want the blood on their hands. And the Tirshatha said unto them that they should not eat of the most holy things. Only the Levites were allowed to do that. Till there stood up a priest with Urim and Thummim. But the priest is a high priest, because it shows you here in 1st Ezra that it needed to be the high priest, not just the regular priest. High priest. Right, so that's about that bloodline over there. Wait, let me see something here. Okay, let me make another video.